to your grandma for some of nature's most delicious treats. Best doggone dessert in the county. Make your mouth water slicker than a schoolboy's sleeve in winter.
Not now. We're playing tag, Grandma.
Well, would you rather play tag than have your treats for tonight?
Treats!
Well, that did it.
First come, first serve. Hurry up, they're going fast. Get them while they're hot. I'm first. Wait for me. Hi, Grandma. What is it? I can't wait. What's cooking, Grandma?
All right, well, they're sitting right in front of you.
Out of sight.
Out of sight, well, I could see them plain as day.
Dynamite.
Dynamite! Jump into house and run for your lives!
You're silly, Grandma. Come on, Grandma. We can't wait anymore.
What do you ask for, boys and girls? Step right up and grab yourself a taste-tempting treat that'll tickle your tummies. It's the all-American treat, the apple!
Aww. Do we have to? We had baked apples last night.
And applesauce the night before.
You call apples a treat?
Well, you bet I do.
I don't want one.
Just because we have apple trees in our backyard is no excuse to make ourselves sick of them. Do we have to eat every last one?
I guess I could manage to choke one down.
I'm just tired of it, that's all, Grandma.
Well, I'm sure not gonna make you eat them if you'd rather do without. Come down.
If they were caramel apples, I'd at least lick the caramel part.
We like treats from the store better.
Yeah, real treats.
Real treats, huh?
Yeah, like Grace Googles.
All gooey and good.
With fudge Coca-Cola soda pops.
Yuck, that went out before the hula hoop.
Or new icy isotherms.
Yeah, icy
isotherms.
If isotherms grow on isotherm trees in your backyard, well, I bet you'd stick your nose up at them too.
But there's so many apples.
Yeah, I just get tired looking at them.
We could never eat them all.
We're just tired of them, that's all, Grandma.
Rotten ones are good for throwing at the barn. Watch those babies splatter.
I chased out the old my grandma people.
Did you know the early American pioneers depended on the apple for survival?
Oh, go on.
Come on, guys, give Grandma a chance. Tell us why, Grandma.
Well, back before 1800, pioneers ate apples in season and buried them in the frozen ground for spring use. They were cut, dried, and hung from the rafters for sauces in winter, and gallons were boiled down for butter. 'Twas the cider age of America. Apple cider was the drink in every house needed barrel full, and as it got older, it got better, bubbly. Boiled cider and vinegar were the two basic flavorings for everything under the sun. When money was scarce, apples and vinegar were used for trading instead.
No apples? Wow.
I didn't know that.
You may not be in the West today if it hadn't been for apples.
It's because you got a yard full you don't appreciate. Back before 1800, there were no apples out west.
No apples?
Just a few orchards back east.
No apples anywhere in the West?
I just thought they were wild.
Me too. But you said it takes sun, soil, and rain for apples to grow.
It does, but it also takes one important thing. Apple seeds.
Oh.
And since there were no apple trees out west, there were no apple seeds either. Understand? That wasn't until Johnny Appleseed came out west to Ohio and Indiana.
Johnny Appleseed?
Are you joking, Grandma?
Not a bit.
Nobody has a name like Appleseed.
It's a joke. I know it's a joke.
Wait, I think I read about him at school in a book. Me too. I thought he was just a legend.
Me too. I've not heard of him.
Tell us more.
Yeah, come on, please.
Well, no, you're right about the name. It was not Johnny Appleseed. His name was John Chapman. He was from way back east near the Atlantic Ocean, because even Pennsylvania and Ohio were considered the Wild West in those days. And he lived on a farm just like we do, with lots of apple trees and... Oh. Well, I suppose if no one wants any of these apples, I guess I'll go and feed them to the horses while y'all get ready for bed.
No!
So you want to hear a story, huh?
Yeah!
Would you like a nice, crisp, red, juicy apple to munch on while I tell it to you?
Yeah!
Well, settle back and listen to the story of Johnny Appleseed. A couple hundred years ago, we were a Utah nation, and areas of wilderness had scanty population. Settlers cut the forest down, asking no one's pardon. Then came Johnny Appleseed to make the world a garden. There he is, planting apple trees in the west. Folks loved his apples that he would plant, and they would grow into saplings, then into trees, and then make apples for everyone to enjoy.
Hi, Johnny.
Hello, friends. What do you know? I just got done planting the apples on the other side of the orchard. They'll be ready this fall.
Thanks, Johnny.
The critters all love to munch on those crisp, sweet, juicy apples, too.
Hi, Johnny.
Wow, what a menagerie of animals we got here. We got a squirrel, a bighorn sheep, a lynx, a bear, a wolf, and a bison. You guys are out of your usual territory. Well, if you're hungry, there'll be apples ready this fall. Help yourself.
Thanks, Johnny.
Go ahead, run along. What is this? A letter to the president.
I can't walk all this way. You, where are you going?
Back east, Washington, D.C. to see the president.
Did you take this letter for me?
I'll take it. Don't worry, we've got it handled. No, we'll take care of it. No, we'll handle it.
It's American mail, so the Americans will take it.
Rats. Thanks, Johnny. Can we come too?
You guys can go to the Mississippi.
Well, Johnny was known for making peace between folks and smoothing out the rough spots. Pioneers kept pushing west to find a place to settle. Ohio saw them moving in with axe and gun and cattle. Settlers skewed themselves a farm, food for the new nation. Johnny planted Appleseed for coming generations. Now, Johnny was out working and tending to his seeds, but we best start this tale at the beginning.
You mean when he was a baby?
Well, maybe not that far back.
When was he born?
He was born on September 26, 1774. That's Johnny Appleseed Day.
Was he tall?
Well,
Did he have a house?
not that I know of.
Was he tough?
Yes, and strong.
I bet you was.
He sure was.
Did he ride a horse, or did they have cars in those days?
Cars?
Silly, there were no cars then.
True.
Did he play basketball?
Basketball!
I like basketball.
Well, if you just hold your horses, I'll tell it to you. This story has been told to the youngins in this family for generations. It all started with my great-great-great-great-grandma, Molly Prescott. Well, I'm sure she was a friend of your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma, too. Molly not only knew Johnny in person, but by golly, back in those days, they were best friends. Other kids didn't understand Johnny's peaceful manner, but Molly knew Johnny well enough to know that he had more of the rough pioneer spirit than the folks making fun of him. Now, picture, if you will, a young John Chapman, kind of tall, handsome in a funny kind of way, just starting to grow a scraggly little beard. He wore a check shirt, and his pants had rips in them from working in the fields all day, and he wore a vest too. And his shoes had holes in them, but he didn't mind so much. He liked feeling the dirt wiggling up in his toes. That was John Chapman. And one Saturday afternoon, away back east, sitting in his favorite spot on the edge of his daddy's farm, the shade of a big old apple tree.
Johnny sitting in the shade was thinking about sleeping. Dreams of rows of apple trees into glad to see you.
Hi, John.
I was going to come see you yesterday, but Pa had me digging in the root cellar and mending fences all day long. You haven't been to this part of the apple grove, have you? Well then, let me show you the biggest and best old tree in the country. Apple tree, you're my best friend, Molly Prescott.
Nice to meet you, old fella or girl, whichever.
How about a couple of apples for 2 friends?
Thank you, John, and thank you, old fella or girl, whichever.
Yep, Molly and Johnny were best friends. But Molly had something important on her mind.
But Molly, set yourself down. Pa and I were planning on planting some more apple trees, and I thought we could sure use the help.
I would like that very much, but I can't, I'm sorry.
Why?
That's why I came to see you today, you see?
It's Champman! What are you doing today, John Champman? Sitting under your old apple tree, and our sister Molly is with him. Talking to your apples, Champman?
No, Molly and I just...
Molly and you were yakking and being weird, that's what.
Go home and leave us alone.
You better go home, Molly. That's who better go home. You got all that packing to do.
Packing? For what?
That's why I came to see you today.
We're moving out west where people are tough and hardy. The West isn't for folks who read books and recite poetry. Not for people like you, John Champman. Not for people who talk to apples.
When are you leaving?
Today. Won't be long now. Pulling up this afternoon.
Well, that was some very bad news for Johnny. His best friend was leaving.
We have just enough time for a little fun. A little fun, that's all. Besides, we wanted to prove for once that you're not scared. We thought we'd play one last trick on old Mr. Weatherby. You know that old Mimi deserves it. You know our dog Rufus, he loves eggs. He sobbers them up, shells and all.
No thanks, I don't think it's a good idea. I doubt it, knowing the kind of fun. What's going on?
We thought we'd play one last trick on old Mr. Weatherby. We thought we'd let our dog Rufus loose in Mr. Weatherby's hen house. Watch the messes the hens scatter!
No thanks, I don't think it's a good idea.
That's horrible. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Not a good idea? Ashamed? I guess we're not good enough for you, John Champman. Or you either, Mopey Molly. Johnny Champman, has apples on the brain. Mopey Molly, our sister is a pain. Better leave goody-goody Champman to his apples. He talks to apples, never heard of such a thing. You know what you've got, Champman? You've got an apple for a brain. Champman has an apple brain. Champman in his apple brain. Champman in his apple brain. Let's not waste our time on these yakety-doos. We got better things to do. Yeah, come on.
Molly's siblings were sure hard to get along with. That didn't seem to matter now. John was upset that his best friend was leaving, and he just didn't know what to do about it.
Don't worry about them. They're just kids. I wish they would grow up.
It's fine, it doesn't bother me much. I never knew that you'd leave. I never thought that.
I never thought that either. Pa just up and decided thing. He'd been thinking on it for some time.
Where would you go?
Pennsylvania, Ohio territory. I don't know where we'll end up.
Do you want to go?
Come on, Molly.
I guess if there's a little creek with a big red barn and with a weather vane and a grove of apple trees, I won't feel so far from home.
Don't you know anything, Molly? Pa says there aren't any apple trees out west. Not anywhere. Won't bother me none. We've had a fill of apples. Don't want to look at another one.
But you need apples just like you need corn and wheat. Here, take these apple seeds. You plant them in the grove.
Our wagon has enough stuff in it, and our old horses have enough to pull.
But these seeds are heavy.
Don't worry about us. The frontier's no place for apples. If you're thinking ahead, John, you'd come out west too.
I just might.
Come on, Molly. Right now, Pa says.
Goodbye, John.
By golly, Johnny was just old enough to leave home and strike out on his own. His pa had plenty of help on the farm.
Molly, where will you go? I can catch up if I can.
But we'll be at Prescott's Cider Press. My Uncle Peter owns it. Pa said we'll be there by a spell. Bye.
Johnny was determined to meet Molly at her uncle's cider press. He'd find that place with the little creek, big red barn, the weather vane, and grove of apple trees.
Imagine the possibilities. I'll plant apples in the West.
They're going west, where dreams are surely best. Maybe you should travel with all the rest. Go and pack your gear, 'cause you're not needed here. And move west with your friend Molly.
A big red barn, a cool flowing stream. Molly sitting there and dreaming about an apple tree planted there by me. The west with my friend Molly.
Good luck, John.
Thanks, Grandma.
John started his journey west, and his first stop was Pennsylvania. He kept his promise to Molly, for it wasn't long before he found Prescott's Cider Press. This thriving enterprise was owned and operated by a transplanted Englishman named Sir Peter Prescott. Now, folks who didn't know, Sir Peter considered him to be nothing but a snobby old stuffed shirt. But deep down, he really was, well, a snobby old stuffed shirt. His right-hand man, Rupert by name, had all the likable charm and self-confidence of a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, and all the style and grace of Farmer Hogan's fancy chicken. Altogether, they made quite a pair, and they managed to run Prescott's Cider Press. Every morning, while Sir Peter watched carefully, faithful Rupert would hike up to the cider press, drop an apple in the chute, and turn the dial past low, past medium, past high, all the way to yummy.
Yummy!
And then the piston would start going up and down, and the gears going round and round, and he'd take one taste of that cider to make sure it was okay.
Yummy!
About this time, our friend John Chapman arrived, worn and weary, from his long journey west to Pennsylvania, but hankering to see his best friend Molly once more.
Excuse me, sir. Could you tell me where I could find Mr. Prescott himself? Excuse me, sir. Could you tell me where to?
You presume too presumptuously that I am Sir Peter Prescott.
Yeah, to presume, Sir Prescrumptious.
I just wondered where you might be.
I am Sir Peter Prescott. May I be of service?
Sure thing. First of all, is your niece Molly Prescott here?
Go on.
And may I dig in your cider mash and keep the seeds I find?
In answer to your first question, you just missed them. Her family was here for a week. They headed west 2 days ago. In answer to your second question, you have my precious permission.
We don't use seeds for nothing around here.
Just don't presume that I'll pick up after you.
Thank you, sir. Did Molly's family say exactly where they're headed?
Actually, they didn't even know themselves. They said I knew that I did not know.
Yeah, no presuming.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Prescott. Sir, I collect my seeds won't be any trouble at all.
Well, digging in that pile of sour cider mash was sure going to be messy. But about then, Johnny had an idea.
Maybe if I'm real nice to those apple seeds, they'll come out all by themselves. Worth a try, anyways. Come on, friend. Follow me and you will see what a good friend I can be. We'll grow up apples sweet and strong. Come and sing my song. La 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 la.
have a bag full of apple seeds by now. Look at them all.
What do you presume to accomplish with this assortment of seeds?
I'm going west, going to plant apple trees in the west.
If a gentleman's calculations prove correct, you must have enough seeds for thousands of trees by now.
Lots of trees.
I'll put millions. Yippee!
Millions of seeds won't fit Pennsylvania.
Oh no, I'm going to Ohio, Indiana. Going to out west. Right, friends?
Right, Johnny.
No apple trees out there, but lots of room.
Listen, Apple Twig, that's the most goofiest thing I ever heard.
It is a bit ambitious, don't you think?
Apple butter in the wild, wild west.
The West is for men of high caliber like me, not apple blossoms like you.
You won't last 2 days.
You'll spill the seeds in the river.
They'll spoil in the rain.
Animals will devour them.
Yup.
And they'll chase you back to where you came from.
Fun.
Laugh all you want. I'll make it. John Chapman will make it.
You're no Chapman. You're just a pound of apple butter, a bowl of apple dumplings, a jar of apple jacks, a apple skin, an apple core. You're just a scrawny apple seed.
Catchy, Rupert. Rather catchy. John Chapman Appleseed. I've got it. Johnny Appleseed.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your names will never harm me. You can call me what you want, 'cause words just don't alarm me. Yes, call me what you want to, but nowhere will it lead. Not even mean and nasty names like Johnny Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. You know, that name has kind of a nice ring to it. And maybe you do need a new name, something that suits this new life you lead. Later on in life, folks will forget you were called anything else. Oh, hello, John. I was just remembering when you got your new name.
Yes, Grandma, you can say it's really grown on me.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, 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 it's me, it's fast and sound, that's the name I need. It's everything a name should be, a name should be, a name should be, yes sir, yes ma'am, that's who I am, oh, that's the name for me. It suits
Me right.
it sounds,
Just right.
it's music,
To my ears.
it makes,
Me smile.
it makes,
Me laugh.
it almost brings me tears. So call me Johnny Appleseed anytime at all. And I'll be right there by your side every time you call me. Johnny Appleseed, 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 it's me, it's fast to sound of that, yes, that's the name I need. Johnny Appleseed, 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 yes sir, yes ma'am, that's who I am, and Johnny Appleseed, that's me. Bye, John. Keep your chin up.
Wow, that was harsh. That wasn't nice at all. At least the name suited him.
I like it too.
From then on, he was known as Johnny Appleseed.
Makes me want a cool name too.
Like what, Gene Five Sickle?
Haha, that was too funny.
Mom, let's get back to the story.
Yeah, what happened next, Grandma?
Johnny still was heading west. His gift was horticulture. As he traveled overland, he spread his love of nature. Hurrah for Johnny Appleseed, helping out his neighbors, planting lots of apple trees, the fruits of all his labors. John continued his journey west.
As the days, weeks, and months gone by, he had planted hundreds and thousands of tiny apple seeds. He watched them grow into great big apple trees. Imagined the possibilities. When When he went to bed at night, he used to dream of great big apple trees.
Big, red, juicy apples. And of course his Appleseed friends.
Then he was up again at first light and back to work.
And where to go, Grandma?
Looks like a good spot for an orchard. Better get to work.
My dog, John Catler. I didn't expect to see you up here. I thought you were a pretty little planet back east.
Nope, I got in my head to go out west.
Are you the one everybody is calling Johnny Appleseed?
I reckon so.
I'm sure you've been playing trees like crazy. How many trees don't you have? Any apples yet, Johnny?
I sure hope so. My family needs apples.
Do you have any shoes to spare?
Well, John tried to answer all their questions as best as he could, but I think it went a little something like this. Thousands! No apple trees yet. Yes, I can spare a few seeds for friends. What he really wanted to know was had anyone seen his friend Molly?
Sorry, John, I haven't seen her. The baby must have stopped already. Or maybe you just haven't got up to her yet. Bye, John.
Good luck.
Oh, I hope I find her someday. Well, better get to work. Oh, it's only Wolf. Nice, Wolf. Wolf! Ah! Ah! Now, Mr. Wolf, I don't want to be any trouble at all. Let's be reasonable. I'm just here to plant some trees, so I'll be out of your way in no time. Do you want me to do something? Okay, sure. I'll shake your paw. No growling. I wish you could talk. I haven't had anyone to talk for the longest time.
Wolves can't talk, silly.
I know wolves can talk. You don't have to tell me that. Wait, I didn't know wolves could talk.
Me neither. Guess I've never tried before. But with the bottom of my heart, let me thank you.
Well, doesn't that beat all a talking wolf?
That beats all, right? But not only that, my best friend is a talking
Talking bison.
Well, Johnny thought about this time. He must be dreaming. Where he came from, animals didn't talk. Maybe those critters were just shy. These two certainly weren't shy.
Good night, better weather. We go fishing, Johnny. I love pickles. Swami on Wednesday. Ask me my name.
Take it easy. Just because you learn to talk doesn't mean you have to say everything at once.
Oh, I guess you're right. No reason from we were talking a mile a minute for no reason at all.
Wait!
There's no reason in the world for me to
Hold it!
for me to have been talking a mile a minute.
Wait!
Wait, why? Is something wrong? Don't tell me there's something wrong because I feel so wonderful.
You guys better get a hold of yourselves. What? All right, that's better. What brings a buffalo,
Bison.
bison and wolf to this country?
Well, it's because we have something in common. I can't refuse a big, shiny, juicy, red apple!
Apple!
I know, so it sounds.
Did you say apple?
Yes, I said apple. There are no apples from the west, so I thought I would come to the apples and not eat another thing. Yum, yum.
Well, we should get along great. Have you ever heard of Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed.
Never heard of him.
Well, I'm Johnny Appleseed. I'm planting apples around these orchards. These trees are saplings. They aren't big enough to make apple trees yet. Wolf, didn't get your name.
It's Tim Timberwolf.
Nice to meet you, Tim. And to call you Buffalo?
Bison.
Buffy Bison?
Close enough.
and talk, but trees need tending and seeds need planting. But before I go, here's a tip, Tim. This summer, there's plenty of apples along the Hickory Creek.
Johnny was thrilled to have friends who loved apples just as much as he did. They weren't too good at the planting part, but they had the eating part down. Turned out that they would be lifelong friends.
You gave us a lifetime supply of our favorite food. How can we ever thank you?
I'll tell you by telling everyone you meet how precious apples can be. I know a song that can help you.
I've never sung before. Not sure I can.
You just learned to talk, didn't you? Singing is talking in a tune. There's nothing to it. Ready? Me, 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 me. Me, 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 moo. Maybe you can sing the harmony. There are snacks that you eat all the time if you could. There are foods that you wouldn't eat and ones that you would. But of all the tasty dishes in the land, there's one that's special. I tell you they're dandy. Ready for bacon, my sweet tooth is aching. All you need is apples for fun.
Thanks again. In the meantime, I'll go explore our Hickory Creek. Never know what you might find. Goodbye, Johnny Appleseed. Me, 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 moo.
Goodbye, Timberwolf. Goodbye, Bifey Bison. Well, better get back to work.
Well, John planted those seeds month after month and year after year, and through it all, he stayed the same kind of free-roaming fella he'd always been. But like all of us, there was one change that Johnny just couldn't avoid. One day he had worked up quite a thirst plant and intended to the seeds, and he went to the creek to take a drink. When he looked into the water, he couldn't help but notice a few gray hairs on the right side of his face. And by golly, if he didn't notice a few on the left side. Oh, sorry, Johnny. I almost forgot that little streak right down the middle. Yep, Johnny was getting older, but through it all, he stayed the same kind of fella. He could picture the land full of crisp, sweet, juicy apples, and knew it couldn't be done by himself. He'd work, smile and work from the first sun in the morning to the last dawn at night, and still he dreamed of his little Appleseed friends. Good night, Johnny. To help them grow these seeds we sow, then water them gently, and there you go. The sun then works its magic, encouraging seedlings to grow. Just plant the seeds, that's all you need to get them started. Now watch my lead. I love a shiny apple, and these will be shiny indeed. You wonder at the mystery when young things start to grow. And as it unfolds like a real miracle, the sight amazes you so. And that is how, on branch and bough, the seeds become Appleseed now. And now we've learned the story, how Appleseeds make all the world so much better. So Appleseeds, please take a bow.
Imagine the possibilities, Grandma.
Yes, little ones, they are endless. Thank you, Appleseeds. Keep growing. There was much more to Johnny than planting apple seeds.
John Chapman was peaceful and liked by everyone. He would sometimes go to Pioneer's home and bring little gifts to children. And if there was enough food, he would stay for dinner.
He always brought seeds, small trees ready for transplanting, and plenty of apples for the whole family. After dinner around the fire, he told the stories of the critters he encountered on his travels.
Bucks and bears to squirrels, lynx, and bighorn sheep, he described his sometimes cruel wilderness. His love for everything. He left books for the whole family to read. When it was time for bed, he refused the comfort of a real bed. He would prefer the hard cabin floor, the cold ground outside. When he rose before the pioneers up for their daily chores.
Thank you, Prescott family. Now, Johnny was also friends with the Native Americans as well. They treated each other with respect and admiration. They loved his apples, and they shared their knowledge of nature with him. Johnny and his friends understood one another because they all lived their lives so close to nature. Although most people liked Johnny for his kind and peaceful manner, they weren't always able to follow it.
In the year 1812, the war erupted between the British and in the new American states.
The American frontier was full of conflict. Everyone was angry.
Everyone fought for what they thought was right. Their anger was too great for the teaching of Johnny Appleseed to make any difference.
John saw all of his friends fighting, and when they were hurt, he tried to help as best as he could, but he was sad. Johnny Appleseed had learned a lesson that he did not like. What's the matter, John? You aren't the same free-room fellow we've always known. Is something bothering you?
No matter what I do, my friends seem to always fight.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that so much, John. You know, things always have a way of working themselves out. Just a little time, John. Just a little time.
Come on, everybody. Hurry! Let's eat something. I can hardly wait.
You guys scared the living daylights out of me. Let's see, we got a squirrel, bighorn sheep, a lynx, and a bear. What are you all doing today?
Things are fine, John.
Now that the war is over, things are much better. We have enough acorns to eat.
But we are stronger every day.
We thought we would go swimming. Come with us, John. Please.
I'd love to, but there's so many apple trees that I've planted, and I just hardly have any time to do anything anymore. But you guys go and have fun.
Bye, John.
Oh boy, the swimming hole.
We found it just last week. Let's go to it.
I can't believe my dad let me come.
It's so dangerous out here. We have to watch out.
Hi, John. How you doing, Johnny?
You want to come with us?
We're all going to our secret swimming hole.
Secret swimming hole? We were going swimming.
I'm not going swimming if you are. Yeah, I wouldn't step foot in that hole if you do.
Now wait a Grandpa a minute. We've been swimming there for years. And I never go there again ever since you've been there. That's our secret swimming hole anyway.
So stay out.
Someplace happens to be our place. Look, I
have no right to it. Who do you think you are telling us what rights we have and what rights we don't have?
We are the people who have the right.
Yeah! Yeah!
Wait a minute. I have a little secret to tell your friends.
What do you want to tell us, John? He's not your friend or your information.
He is too.
He's our friend John and...
A bit of silence, you might learn something. These are my friends, and they're wide and open to me, and I'm the same in return to them. Those are also my friends. I'm wide and open to them, and they are the same in return to me. And lastly but not least, these are also my friends. The forest is just as much their home as any of ours.
It's so helpful.
Sure is.
It's getting hotter every minute. Boy, that's for sure. Standing around is no fun. No fun at all.
You said it.
Tell me, what does it take so we can all be friends? How's a firm handshake? It's time to make amends.
What's a secret for us to feel we belong? Can you tell me why we all just don't get along? What choice can we make so we can all be friends? How's this mood to break? It's time to make amends. Time to make amends. We can all be friends. What are we doing here, standing here? What are we fighting about? What's your name?
Grizz,
What are we fighting about, Grizz?
what are we waiting for? Let's go swimming. We'll beat you to the swimming hole. I know a shortcut.
Last one of there is a rotten apple.
Oh, those silly pioneers and critters.
Grandma, what are Peter and Rupert doing here?
Where are you two headed?
We're headed west to make our fortune.
We have a plan to make us rich.
I've always thought the West needs men of high caliber like me.
And me.
Let's away.
Right away.
Well, John, you're looking a mite happier than when we saw you last.
You're right, Grandma. Things worked out just like you said. I'm gonna go into the woods and take a rest.
Oh, a little rest now, huh? Well, I wouldn't count on it, John. I wouldn't count on it.
Help, help. Wolf, someone help me. Wolf, I don't want to be caught. Wolf, mad wolf, someone help me. He's gonna catch me. Someone help me. Help, help. Please.
All you need is applesauce. Johnny Appleseed?
Tim Wolf.
Wobby, how you doing, buddy?
Fine, the plan as usual to keep me fit and happy. Where's Buffalo?
Bison, contented, cow fattened on applesauce.
Well, it's good to see you, old friends. I'd like to introduce you to my new friend. What's your name? Sarah. This is Sarah. Sarah, this is Tim Wolf and Buffy Bison.
Nice to meet you. I finally caught up to you. My, but you're a quick-footed little human.
A talking wolf? A talking wolf?
Yes, yes, a talking wolf indeed. It taught us everything we know.
I don't remember teaching you to chase folks. Seems like I remember telling you not to do that. Care explaining this?
You told me to teach everyone the I Love Apple song. I taught 2 possums, 3 gardener snakes, a beaver, a skunk, a fuzzy red fox, a family of porcupines, a whole hive of bees, 5 robins, and a turkey. But try as I did, I was never able to teach a human. Every time they saw me, they run away. This time I saw a little girl. Well, I guess I was a little bit too hard. Wasn't I? I thought I'd teach her on the run.
So you're the real Johnny Appleseed?
Folks have called me that for quite a spell, and you look mighty familiar from the past, but your name's Sarah, not Molly.
Yeah, Sarah. Funny thing is, my grandmother's name is Molly.
Where do you live?
It's just me and my grandmother. Oh, up the hill with a lake with big red barn, a weather vane, and a grove of apple trees. It's just me and my grandmother there now. We have plenty of apples if you're worried about that. My grandmother's got a pie in the oven, please.
I'd love to, Sarah, but it seems like I still got some wandering left in me.
Need my help? I'm looking for a home.
I suppose we need a watchdog for our few sheep.
How about a watchful?
You're hired. Grandma might need some getting used to the idea, but after she finds out how lovable you are, I suppose she'll be happy. Let's go.
I'm hired in a grove of apple trees. I've been thinking that I want to go out to pasture day, especially when there are apples to graze on.
You're hired too.
Great, what's my job?
A watch bison. Bye, Johnny.
Bye, friends. You guys go along. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll be back.
And that is the story of Johnny Appleseed. Well, I see you all finished your apples.
Yep. You know what they say? The apple keeps the wolf away.
Bad joke. Oh, sure. Boo.
And did we enjoy the story?
Yeah.
And what did we learn?
I learned that it's a lucky thing Johnny Appleseed planted all those apple trees. Otherwise, we wouldn't have apples.
Yes, that's true. That is so true. And what did we learn about apples?
Apples have vitamins and minerals.
Apples are good for you.
And they are big.
And red. And shiny.
And beautiful.
And juicy. And sweet.
And yummy. I guess what you're trying to say, Grandma, is simply this.
There are snacks that you eat all the time if you could. There are foods that you wouldn't eat and ones that you would. But of all the tasty dishes in the land, there's one that's special. I tell you they're dandy. Pennies for bacon, my sweet tooth is aching. All you need is apples for fun. There we go. Watermelon's too big, and I suppose I'd eat a fig. But I know I'd grow them both if all I ate was cantaloupe. Bananas are mushy, and grapefruit is cushy, and an orange is hard to peel, and it makes a stinking peel, and peaches have fuzz, and I don't like them 'cause they're soft and squishy, got a slimy like a fishy. Yeah, I'm wishing for a fruit that makes me want to sing. Oh, pie. Ready, boys?
Later up, Grandma.
Here we go.
Follow me and you will see what a good friend I can be. We'll grow up Appleseed and strong. Come and sing my song.
Here we go.
La 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 la. Sing a happy Appleseed song. La 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 la. Sing a happy song. Bye bye.
And now I'd like to turn your attention over to the director of this production, Christian Scott.
So, I'd also like to bring out our very important assistant directors, Louis and Sam. Come on out, boys. And also like to thank Garrett, our accompanist for this show. And thank you to Hope and all of the city of Wall for having us here this week. And yep, go ahead. And once again, we'd like to give a big special thanks to our sponsors, the Wall School District, the Greater Wall Fund, the Wall Area Booster Club, the City of Wall, the West River Electric Association, the First Interstate Bank, the Golden West Telecommunications, the Badlands Area Chamber of Commerce, the Welsh Motel, the Ann's Motel, where we are staying this week, and the 4th Avenue Floral. So thank you, all of them. Give yourselves a round of applause. And we'd like to give a special thanks to our national sponsor, Cosmic Crisp, a new variety of apple. We are so grateful for their support. They are so big in helping us bring this program to communities all over this country. So, as you know, we are with Missoula Children's Theater out of Missoula, Montana. And for 50 years, the International Tour Project of Missoula Children's Theater has sent teams just like Ursula and I to all 50 states, 17 different international countries, and 5 Canadian provinces to work with kids just like these. So, for those unfamiliar with how our program runs, these kids auditioned on Monday, and in just 5 days, they did all of this. They did all their singing, they did all their lines, they did all their movement. And each year, nearly 750,000 audience members will watch shows just like these that involve 65,000 cast members, just like the ones right here in Wall. And like most things, this year has looked very different for Missoula Children's Theater, but we can't be more happy to be here, especially since for a lot of you, this is your first time ever seeing Missoula Children's Theater. Ursula and I are very humbled to be able to give you that first experience, but we'd like to give you, the kids, one more round of applause for an amazing work. So, at this time, we're going to hold a photo call. So, we're going to do a big cast photo, and then after that, we'll do individual photos. We will also be continuing to sell t-shirts at this time, after the photo call. So, if everybody is ready,